Many people are waiting.
Here we go. Yeah. Welcome. We are The Way the Leaf, and you're about to experience a first-time reader discussion based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and I am currently wrapping my fancy sword in strips of cloth.
And I am Ryan's brother Dan, and I am the grandest city on the planet. And we are The Way the Leaf, and this is the LeafCast.
This is the LeafCast, yes, episode 16. Can you believe it?
Our podcast can now drive, Ryan.
Yes, and maybe get drafted for certain wars. Dan, this is the most special podcast we've had so far. I might get emotional for this show because of our guest, but let's get into it. Feel free to introduce our guest for us.
Yeah, guys, we this is an honor that Ryan and I both share equally. As far as this is one of the coolest things that we've ever done. So all you people at home, try to contain your drool. If you are not smart, if you are a fool, in the Wheel of Time, it's time to go to school. Ladies and gentlemen at home, here's our friend Zuul.
Yeah, I made that extra long for you this time.
Hello.
Hey, Zuul.
Here's Zuul.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Guys, this is one of our oldest and dearest friends that we've had on this internet community with the Wheel of Time. She's very active in our Discord and in others. I see her actively, theoretically holding the hand of new readers and new incomers and being delicate and showing them the ropes. And this is really wonderful. She did the same with us, and it's really cool to have Zuul with us now. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what you doing?
I know. Hey, let's get into it. Yes. We're going to fill the screen up with beautiful people. We have one more guest to bring in.
We certainly do. Guys, you're here for a reason. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm excited about this, to be honest.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Todd, the star.
Guys, we're
Todd is a really popular guy.
He really. Ladies and gentlemen at home, quietly applaud for our first-time reader named Todd.
Hey!
You fooled me.
Hello, everybody.
I did. I'm doing it all the time. Welcome, Todd.
You reading dog you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to finally meet Zuul. Put a face to the voice. It's awesome. So awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. If there's a Mount Rushmore, Zuul's on there for our Wheel of Time experience. For sure.
And it's so perfect too for these chapters, I think, because there's a lot that's laid down in these chapters. I'm glad to have you along on these ones. You could keep us in check.
Especially the second chapter. It is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And the third chapter made me feel guilty for not allowing Todd to read on, because that certainly was one that you wanted to continue to read. But we'll get into that. But beforehand, Ryan, as is kind of what I do when we have a very, very special friend, we also get a new best friend. And I wrote a little song. If I can perform it for our friend Zuul, please.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, please. So you got to lie down, correct?
I do. I cannot play sitting up. Yeah.
Have you been
So
trying?
let me lay down.
All right, well, there he goes. Yeah, Dan needs to lie down because he learned that Kurt Cobain recorded Something in the Way lying on his back. And ever since then, he is lying down to play guitar. And other...
All right. No, yeah. Something was in the way, actually, Ryan.
I hope he's okay.
That's so method.
It was my lap. It was
in the way.
All right. All right. So there is a song. Oop, let me make it so I'm not. All right. So there was a song in the 1960 by Ricky Nelson that was called "Hello, Mary Lou." So I did a little rendition of that for our guests. So ready? All right. Please welcome our friend Zuul, our Discord mod. This is not Zuul. Please join our chat with Todd. This truly is an honor. That's no pretend. So welcome Zuul, our new best friend.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thank you. My next song, this is Wonderwall.
Awesome.
And
that was for you.
Before we get into it, we have something for you, Todd. We're going to throw you a curveball. This is our new game.
Ryan, can you speak a little?
Oh, yeah, I can get right into that mic.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm going to eat the mic. Todd, we have a new game set up for you. It is called Pronounce This. We're going to flash a word on your screen. There are no right or wrong answers. We just want your headcanon. Just read. These are words that appeared for the first time in these chapters. Number 1.
All right.
Pronounce this.
TAVERN.
My man.
All right.
My man.
Yeah.
Next one.
Ilada.
Okay. Next one.
My man.
I was going back and forth on that one.
I mean, your brain naturally will settle on whatever you want it to settle on. That's what we're just trying to get at that.
Yeah, we're just wondering.
Did you have another one?
Oh, plenty.
Okay, this one I was like either loyal or low isle.
All right, what's in your head? What do you default to?
I go to low isle.
Okay.
Low Isle, right?
Tamaral Aline.
All right.
Beautiful.
Doing great.
Gareth Bryan. Oh no, Gareth Byrne. I always go like back and forth when I see the Y and the like David Bryan, Byrne, Bryan. I don't know.
Which do you like better?
And so you
Brian
may
or
ask
Bart?
yourself,
I think Byrne.
Is he burning down the house?
is it the same as it ever was? It's the same as it ever was.
Let's go with Byrne. Just Byrne sounds way cooler. Gareth Byrne.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Kareen.
Ah, good. Next.
Nice.
Kareen. Oh, I like this one. Avendesora.
I like how you say that.
Nice.
All right.
More. Okay, yeah, this one I didn't know. Morgasi.
All right.
Morgasi.
Oh. All right. Queen and... All right. Next.
Oh, Basil Gill. Master Gill. Basil Gill. Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Okay, this one...
That's not supposed to have an L in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
No L?
What are you guys trying to do to me?
No L.
Ogier.
I say it Ogier. Yeah.
Okay.
But
thank you.
but it's like ogre. I don't know. Yeah, Ogier.
What if you're French?
Guys,
What?
I think I literally
Yeah.
I think my head puts an L in there. I don't know why the L's there. In my mind, it's Algier. That's crazy. All right, moving on.
Gene Farst Writer.
All right.
Gene Farst Writer. Ooh. Willem of Man Etches.
As a profession. Awesome. Good job.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well done. Well done.
So how do I do on that today?
You'll get your results in the mail with everyone else, but thank you for participating.
And
I think you did fine.
Guys, this is a big night, and everyone's watching. We appreciate you navigating the debate. So
Yes.
I want to promise you that if Dan gets out of hand, I'm going to mute his mic, and I'm going to be fact checking Dan throughout the night. So we're going to try and make it as debate like as possible. But for sure,
it's needed. It's needed for those eyebrows.
Just try to mute the eyebrows, buddy. You cannot try.
Just keep them under that hat, dude. Yeah.
All right, guys, we get to Camelin.
Yes.
Chapter 35, Camelin. It has a lion type thing that's kind of the sideways, like kind of a coat of arms type thing as a sigil or a insignia or emblem. As they're riding up, Almond Bunt is like, "Hey, boys, greatest city in the world," and Rand really does think that this is the greatest city in the world. Mm-hmm. It is enormous. It's like coming over into, I don't know. I don't even know how to equate it. Going into like New York City or Shanghai or something that's huge compared to any other city, compared to Cleveland or, you think, oh, Cleveland's pretty big. Nope. Look at New York. Bam.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts right now, Todd?
I like what he says. He says White Bridge would have been swallowed up 20 times over. And
right, they were pretty much like every house and village that we've ever passed and city along the way could easily just fit side by side. So great. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It seems like it's super big, and the architecture is awesome. And I guess there's like a 50-foot wall. Mm-hmm. Is this the Great Wall they're talking about a lot? It's like a pale gray stone streaked with silver and white. It sounds amazing. And then it has like an inner city, I guess, with an inner wall. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like terraced. It's like terraced up. Like it's amazing sounding.
Well, and apparently Rand has heard all kinds of stories too. Every story that he's heard is pretty much along this thing here. It's pretty much, the walls. Here's what he says. It says 1,000 stories have painted cities in his mind, the great cities and kings and queens of thrones and power and legend, and Camelin fit into these mind-deep pictures as water fits in a jug. Really nice, Robert Jordan. But yeah, everything, his grandest visions ever in every story is right in front of him. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. Great. It's great. And they have to go and find one particular pub. It's like, all right, go to New York and find me at the Josie Bronx. And they're like, all right, where's that? I don't know. You just cross a bridge and just try and find it. It's pretty daunting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Rand and Matt kind of have different opinions about the amount of crowd there. The crowd is crazy. In order to even talk to each other, they have to kind of yell. Shit's going crazy. The gate, just people flooding into the gate. People are hawking food. People are there's all kinds of people outside of the walls that are selling stuff, and it's just a cacophony of noise that Rand even kind of wants to cover his ears. This is nuts for them. These are bumpkins who haven't seen anything.
Right. Yeah, they kind of go at each other too, I guess. They have their little Rand and Matt moment. Rand calls him a wool-headed idiot. About like,
yeah. What's
Matt's
the equivalent
about,
of that, Todd?
Oh man, I don't know, man. You tell me, Dan. I don't know.
Well, they are
sheeper.
having different opinions of the crowd. Matt is super suspicious and is like, any one of these people can be super dodgy and shady. And Rand's like, no, don't you understand? We bleed in perfectly. How do you find someone like us in this crowd? Gosh, Hamilton's the best.
It's the best.
So Zuul, as they're entering the gates here, so you empathize, I'm sure, with what the boys are feeling entering the greatest city in the world and not having their friends, not having really anyone. They just have a name of a place. It's pretty daunting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it seems like most of the responsibility falls on Rand because Matt is just overwhelmed more than Rand is. Like, covering his ears because of the noise. It's just like this constant noise. And he's like, he's so depressed at this point. So Rand really has to take the lead here.
Exactly. And Matt makes it clear that he doesn't think anyone else is alive.
Right.
Yeah,
he thinks that it's just them two. And what is all this? And everyone around, anyone could just be one of those people. He just tried to get killed like 2 days ago. He got a dagger aimed at his chest like 2 damn days ago. Yeah, I sympathize with the guy, and he's like, I'm tired of running. This is all bullshit, and any one of these people can just come up and kill me. This sucks.
Malkier Talks asks Todd, is Matt about to lose it and go full emo kill everyone mode?
That's a good question.
Man, I think so. I like the emo kill everyone mode. That's really funny. But I think everything's just weighing on him. And he's also got that Shadar Logoth blade. I think there's something seeping into him, and the dreams are still affecting him, and just everything's coming at him. He says he can't trust anybody, or doesn't even know. Like, or wait, what is he? Can't trust anybody. Who do we? Yeah, he just thinks they're gonna die. And Rand's being the strong one, positive. Kind of has like a Lanism moment too. He's like, come on, dude, everybody's gonna die. The wheel, like,
yes,
right.
That's great. Yeah. Land,
it's like kind of like a land moment. He's like, everybody dies, the wheel turns. So, come on, man, come on, bros.
Right. We see the Queen's Guard is a presence amongst the people. They just kind of look with sour disdain as people kind of walk in. Their winter hasn't really ended in Camelin either. The grass strip between the boulevard, which should be green, is all yellow. There is no fruit or leaves on the trees. And it seems that Rand thinks that people are just ignoring that fact or just not even acknowledging it. They're just going about their day. But as a shepherd and a farmer, he's like, yo, man, this is probably, you should probably acknowledge this climate change. Anyways, Almond Bunt, we find out is a pretty cool guy. He was like, yeah, so what are you hiding there? Is that what that innkeeper was telling me that you're hiding? If I cared, I would have turned you in a long time ago, but you should probably hide that, and that's gonna give you away, man. And
Brother Buddha in the chat asked, so why do you think Bunt gave Matt and Rand a ride, considering he knew that they were wanted? Why do you think he's helping them out?
he's just a cool guy, like we're saying. You know, he doesn't. You know, I think he wants some action too. You know, he's like, wow, these guys. You know, this is the two boys. This is, you know, who's being looked at, who they're after. You know, I don't know.
I was wondering what kind of action you're talking about.
I know. Of course you did, Ryan.
What?
Your mind just goes right to the. But I think he just wants to get into like an adventure, and he likes the danger, I think. And he's a cool dude.
Right on. Yeah, he seemed to be an adversary. He obviously had the offer for 100 gold crowns for those two guys in his cart. So, you know, so there's that.
Why do you
Almond Bunt's got nuts. All right, sorry.
So Todd, why do you think Almond Bunt suggested that Rand sell the dagger?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he says sell it, trade it, get rid of it. I guess he knows that it's just worth a lot of money. Or maybe he wants to buy it. I don't know. That's a very good question. I didn't really think about why he suggests for him to sell it.
Well, I think earlier on, when they were traveling, Rand was like, you know, if we just sell that ruby, we don't have to walk to Camelin. We could ride the whole way and just eat our fat faces with food the whole way. We could just, where are we walking for? You have that fat ruby. But that was kind of off the table because Matt was like, well, why don't you sell your dad's sword? And he's like, well, okay, fine. We'll each keep our thing, I guess.
Right. Yeah, they have that moment. Yeah.
So they enter the city. Almond Bunt gives them some sound advice, tells them to hide a sword, and then just kind of bones off. Matt and Rand are walking around. There's just people everywhere, and they notice that there's people wearing different like strips of like cloth. Either a red cloth with a white rope or white cloth with a red rope. And he's like, well, okay, I want to kind of acclimate. I want to, you know, appropriate this culture. I want to be cool. All these guys are cool. And I want to hide my hair and mark. So they go over to a shopkeeper and go and buy some. Turns out the red is much cheaper than the white. Buys the red. Shopkeeper's a real asshole. A real asshole. Spits at his feet.
All right.
And Rand is like, oh, Morghese the light illuminator. And he's like, bugger off, you shit. So what's going through? What's going on with that? Why is that shopkeeper such an asshole, I guess?
Yeah, he just sees, like, I think, you know, Rand mentions earlier that they're very marked because they have the dusty clothes and they look like they're from out of town. And I think, yeah, people just see that. And then they see him trying to wrap up the heron mark blade. So this shopkeeper's like, no way, man, get out of here, dude. You're bad news. And
right on.
But I was worried.
So he buys this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just worried, you know, because he didn't really know what the red and white stands for. Like when I was reading it, I was like, oh man, he's getting into some like local fashion that he has no idea about, and like he's like marking himself, trying to hide something. So I don't know. I'm sure that'll come up somewhere.
Okay. So do you think that he should have done a little more asking around about what the red and white means before he decided on red or white?
It would have been wise, I think. Especially for Rand. It seems like something Rand would do because he wants to. Yeah. He's just got that sense, a good sense to him. But we shall see.
All right.
So is it kind of like if you just happen to just land in Manchester, England, and you're like, oh, I need a shirt, and you buy like a Man City jersey.
Yeah.
And all like the Man U people are like, piss off. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm just wearing my Man City. What? It's Chewy Louis Garcia or who's the guy who bit the anyways.
Yeah, he's marking himself, man. He's choosing the fashion. And,
okay.
I hope it doesn't come back to him.
Interesting. So he goes into the alley and puts it on. It's harder than it looks. Matt's like, he probably overcharged you like 3 times. What a jerk. I don't know. Matt reads the room pretty well or pretty horribly. I'm not sure. Either way, right?
Totally.
But on the way they are trying to find a specific pub or inn called the Queen's Blessing. They ask, I mean, they're just pretty much asking, and people are just like more vague. Yeah, I think it's somewhere that way, or I think it's, I don't know, near my cousin's house over there or something. But as they get closer and closer, it gets more and more specific, and until they are in front of the place they were looking for. Has a sign, has a dude kneeling in front of a queen who's blessing him. Hence the name. Which came first, the image or the? Anyways, so they get to the Queen's Blessing. They walk in. They find that the innkeeper is not just stout or solid; he is fat, which pleases Rand to no end.
Yeah,
no more
Rand's
thin
checklist.
keepers, right? Or
No
any skin
thin
keepers. Any.
Hashtag no thin keepers.
Hashtag no thin keeper. Correct. Fat innkeeper, or go, or you know what, or go talk to my friend over there. I don't want to talk to him.
Awesome.
They meet Master Basil Gill. They talk to him about their friend Tom. Basil takes him off to the back, and it was like, starts to get serious. Notices Tom's flute case. And he says, "Oh, yep, I've seen that flute before."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, Tom's dead." So let's dissect this a little bit. What about that flute? He said, "Yeah, that's no cats like you would be carrying a flute like that," I've seen no other one like it, kind of thing. He's seen him play it a bit. He knows Tom pretty well, at least on a performance level.
Right. Yeah, this is actually a kind of a dangerous moment because, the innkeeper is like, there's no way Tom would give up that flute. That's like his right-hand man. So I was like a little stressed on this. I thought like Master Gill was going to be like, hey, come on in the back here. Let me take care of you.
Yeah. How'd you get my friend's necklace? Or what?
Yeah. I was like, it could have gone really bad right there. But luckily, Rand handles it, and kind of Rand lays it down.
Right.
Halfway.
Right. Go ahead.
Not mentioning, Trollocs and Fades and all the Dark One dreams and stuff, of course.
All right, this is amazing, guys. Brother Buddha says, I should get an apron that says, obviously trustworthy innkeeper. Which you can only buy for yourself, because if you bought that for your loved one, you'd be in trouble.
Forget about it.
Right.
Okay, Rob Malkier talks. That needs to be one of the innkeeper aprons that you sell. An innkeeper apron.
I like that. Obviously trustworthy innkeeper.
Or Matt from the Dusty Wheel could sell them.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. Well, I mean, Matt's probably more stout. I wouldn't call Matt fat by any stretch. Matt get out.
Matt could totally sell those, though. People would buy those
for sure.
Matt.
For sure. Yeah,
I'd buy
indeed.
one,
Indeed. So they do talk about their friend. Oh, they do talk about their friend Tom. Basil Gill's like, well, okay, yeah, I'll believe he's dead if I can touch his cold gray corpse, I guess. But yeah, Tom's pretty wily. He's his own man. But I believe what you're saying. I believe you saw what you saw. So why are you here now? He's like, well, Tom said to come here. He's like, well, that's pretty funny that Tom would say to come to Camelin, because this seems like the last place he would want to come. He's had some trouble here in the past.
Oh yeah.
This or Tarvalon. I mean, he ain't coming here unless you wait a minute. And he kind of asks. He's like, well, what kind of issue you boys up to? You got problems with the Aes Sedai? He asked this question, and Rand says, no, don't worry about it, not us. And he's like, well, okay, you understand I have to ask. What do you think he was talking about?
Yeah, he gets into it, and he's really good friends with Tom, of course, and he knows that, Tom has issues with Aes Sedai, I guess. But it's really interesting what he gets into. He doesn't believe, what a lot of people believe about Aes Sedai, I guess, and about how they're like behind everything bad. So he's kind of got a really interesting, like, balanced look at Aes Sedai, I think, but he's still like kind of hesitant, still kind of like on the fence, I guess. I don't know. It's really interesting moment.
He does emphasize that he's a good Queen's man. And when Matt kind of talks shit on Aes Sedai, and he's like, watch your tongue, boy. I said I didn't love them, but I didn't say that they're the cause of all this crap. So
Matt really lays into he says, for all I care, the Ravens can take every Aes Sedai straight to Shia Ghul. It's like, whoa, Matt.
Right. But then he mentions, well, I don't need a dragon's fang on my door.
Anyways, sorry.
Keep your thoughts to Aes Sedai to yourself. All this. So we do have at least this tradition is part of Camelin as well, of carving dragon fangs on people's doors, accusing them of stuff.
We find out that guards, I guess. Oh,
say
sorry.
Again?
Or the guards don't like bad mouthing of Aes Sedai because I guess the Queen supports Aes Sedai. I guess that's what you're about to get into. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, keep going.
Yeah, so I guess Aleda is the Aes Sedai of that region.
Mm-hmm.
So are they in Camelin or are they in Andor? That's what I don't understand.
Camelin is the country, and Andor is the country, and Camelin is the capital city.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're there. Okay. So but that's cool. The guards even kind of like, they don't like bad mouthing, and I guess Gil's like, watch your tongue.
So if they do say that they support the Aes Sedai or they're in favor of the Aes Sedai, then what group of people would be after them and carve the dragon's fang?
That would be the White Cloaks, I would guess.
Yes. So it's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of scenario. So that's why Basil was like, Ixnay on the Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Just shh. Let's not talk. Yeah.
Keep it to yourself, buddy.
And in fact, he's like, you know what? And actually, I wouldn't mention Tom Maryland's name as well. Just if you're talking to me, you can talk to me. But yeah, there's some things we shouldn't just talk about right now. You don't understand, and that's cool. Yeah. But I wouldn't talk about them. Because Tom apparently had some issue with the Queen that he didn't share with the boys, but Basil Gill's like, well, it's no secret. Everyone here knows, so you guys may as well know. And he starts dropping some info. He does a little dump. I heard the beep, 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 leave. The Basil Guild truck backed up and gave us a little dump.
It's a juicy dump too, man.
Yeah. So what did you pull from this?
Oh man,
Was there anything?
The Basil Guild dump.
So Tom is like this court bard, I guess, in Camelin.
Yeah.
He's known in every royal court from Tyr to Meridon, and I guess here's where it gets really juicy. After Damodred, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Damodred dies. The queen becomes a widow, and Tom's like a little too close, he says. And we all know what that means, I guess. And
twirl my mustache.
Or knuckling.
Knuckling furiously. Go on.
And so she's a young widow and he's a young court bard. It's like why things happen, I guess, between those. But then he gets into further stuff about like Tom leaving to handle the trouble with his nephew, which is brought up earlier on. And I guess that was the stuff that happened with his nephew and the Aes Sedai. Something about, I guess, a gentling. Was he like being gentled?
Yes.
Or something?
Yes.
So that's what I took. But I guess he returns. So Tom returns after that and has some unkind words for the queen, which really perturbs her.
For the queen and who else?
Oh, Aleda, I guess, right?
So why specifically for Alida?
That's what I can't wait to find out. I don't know like exactly all the details, what happens with Tom's nephew and his gentleman.
There is a sentence here that says Alida was set against him because of his trying to mix in the business with his nephew. And between the queen's temper and Alida's animosity, Tom left Camelin half a step ahead of the trip to prison, if not the head of the tax.
That's right.
Yep.
Very
So
interesting.
something happened here in Camelin involving the queen, Aleda, Tom, and his nephew. And Tom was the court bard, not just necessarily a gleeman. Court bard is a royally appointed position, and it seems that Tom may have also had a close relationship with the queen.
That Tom.
I know. I'm sweating.
I like what he says too about Tom.
Fan fiction, go ahead and send to thewayoftheleaf@gmail.com. All right.
I have but one song.
Nice.
We hear the name Gareth Bryan or Brian.
We should make you play the game in the beginning, Dan.
Gareth. He is the Captain General of the Queen's Guard. And he was the one who was personally sent to try to get Tom back, but did not. So we get this little info dump there. And pretty much the chapter ends with the phrase, "Let's come, I'll get you something to eat. You look as if your bellies are gnawing at your backbones."
Oh yeah.
I love little colloquialisms like that. That's good.
It's very cool.
So, is there anything that you wanted to comment on this chapter specifically, or the city of Camelin itself, Zuul?
It's such a big expansion of the world that I really appreciate what Robert Jordan does here, because we expand a little bit to Barillon, a little bit to Whitebridge, but then we see a dead city in Shadar Logoth, But then we see that all of those could basically fit into this grand live city. And I kind of imagine that's like somebody from a tiny village or tiny town going to New York City for the first time. And I really love that the world just really expands at this point. And Matt and Rand have to navigate it. And Rand just keeps Matt going because Matt is so negative and so down, and he just has to like keep him going, like, okay, we're gonna do this. They're still alive. They're gonna find us. We just have to go to the Queen's blessing, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna do this. And I really appreciate the growth in Rand at this point.
Super.
Especially awesome when he has a reluctant companion.
Yes.
Matt doesn't want to do shit right now. Matt just wants to hide away and cover his ears and just close his eyes.
He wants to go back to the two rivers he mentions. And Rand's like, no, I can't do this alone. I need Matt. Or I think he says something about that. Or thinks it. I'm sorry.
And to your point, Zuul, the city itself, here's a quote that I wouldn't mind reading here. Rand mentioning the people that they're coming across. It says, quote, some of them stood out in the crowd, skins too dark or too pale, coats of strange cut or bright colors, hats with pointed peaks or long feathers. There were women with veils across their faces, women in stiff dresses as wide as the wearer was tall, etc., etc. They're walking into just, Paris in like 1700s, and they were just like, before that, living in thatched houses and digging mud and stuff. The contrast is fabulous. Yeah. Totally. And we also see the division of wealth is fabulous too. There's a lot of sedan chairs, there's a lot of carriages, and there's also a lot of just dirty work. I mean, not dirty, but worn working people as well. So there is that disparity as well that I kind of noticed.
Hey Todd, before we take our break, I got a couple things I want to shore up with the audience. I made a huge mistake and accidentally blocked one of our friends.
No!
Please.
Oh my!
Accept my humble apology.
Who did block?
And all the insults that have been hurled at me, I accept. Now,
whoa.
We have a question for you, Todd. Do you think that Matt is going to be a dark friend?
Ooh. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things adding up to Matt really being, I don't know what it is. I keep saying he's starting to be possessed. I think that Shadow Lorgoth blade, it's just really getting to him. Combined with the Dark One's dreams, there's something. Yeah, his physical appearance is changing too. I think Rand's always observing that he looks like really, kind of pale and like, his eyes are like kind of dark and like, so his physical appearance is even changing. And I'm super sad if that happens.
Me too.
I mean, think about who we met at the beginning of Eye of the World. At the beginning, the guy who was talking about playing pranks and had a badger to set loose on the green. This is not the same. Yeah, this is not the same Matt.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's a great point. He was jaunty. Without a care. I mean, and everyone was like, curse you, burn you, Matt, my bridle fell. And he's like, oh yeah, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And then just living his life. He's still stealing badgers and picking apples out of Senbui's orchard and stuff. He doesn't care. That's a very good point, Zuul. This change is horrible.
And he was like flowering the dogs and the ghost dog, all that stuff.
And we examined that thoroughly. That's super problematic. But, Matt, so in summary, Matt is full of life. but now he's not full of life,
No,
and
no.
the contrast is stark. And Robert Jordan's taken us thoroughly into his like undoing.
And I don't like what he did with the dogs, but I do understand
Agreed.
taking a joke a little too far. I've probably done that a couple times and been like, "Oh, damn, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." I don't know if Matt gets to that final point where he says, "Oh, damn, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that," but yeah, we all take jokes too far. So, anyways, we're at chapter 36 now, the web of the pattern. Did we want to take a break now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take a break, and then
okay.
And then we're gonna have to speed through the rest. All right, so we're gonna take we're having a great time. We're gonna take a 10-minute break. The band I'm playing for roughly 10 minutes is a band that I used to do one of my first bands called Meat Pizza Sandwich.
Ooh, I love meat.
It was during this band that I met Todd, and this is the start of mine and Todd's relationship. So we're taking you back
I love this
down the path of our relationship.
Enjoy, guys.
Excellent.
All right, so I'm going to mute everybody and start playing the music.
Good.
Actually, if you can mute, I could do that. Actually, mute.
you. Who bears the cost? Feeling cold on the inside. Lashing out at inappropriate times. A bitter taste at the end of the day. I can see the emptiness in their eyes. Not another way to voice it in satisfaction. Without giving them another opportunity to cash in. Not another way to voice it in satisfaction. Hey, we got 2 of the Jeeps and not enough Indians. Killer instincts with fistful of cash. Driving deep the dagger with the chuckle finger of slash.
It's amazing. All right, so a little bit more of
Shocking.
me. Okay. I can't. Okay, a little bit more of me. Alright.
Why the hell around you? And I see good stuff. Nobody cares, nobody tries. I tell you I love you, and you don't believe a fucking word I say. Why do I care? Why do I die? I don't know why I think I'll be good things about you. Fucking the best that I need to be right. Now sitting in the corner, shaking like a when you are wrong. How many songs have I about you? What good are words? What good are words? When you heard them all before. Now tell me how pathetic care was that fucking thing. I don't really care, this is making my fun. Now keep on worrying with you, and they don't fall to your fucking head. Maybe you don't fucking understand. I understand. No, he's not dead!
Alright, we're coming back. Woo! We are back. Let me get that off.
That's the beauty of punk rock. You can throw 5 songs in 10 minutes.
Man, that
Six.
took me
do a
back
whole-
a while. That was good stuff.
Thank you.
Nice.
Awesome.
I like that band a lot.
Dude, you guys rocked, man.
I wore my two-tone kind of like ska, but that was more punk rock. So I hope everyone liked that. That was meat pizza sandwich. That was from like 96, 97.
Yep.
Holy
The
moly.
90s. Like I said, it took me back.
So great. So great.
Yeah.
All right, you guys
Totally.
you guys intermissioned and out?
I got a new beer.
Let's step
All
to
right.
it.
We got
Are you ready?
a cool chapter.
First,
This
my
is one of the
drink.
chapters I was looking forward to talking to you. Oh, I got a drink too. Let's go ahead and cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bing.
So we this is one of the chapters I was really looking forward to showing you or talking to you
excited.
about, Todd. And I'm so glad you are here, Zuul.
man.
I'm
Because
so
this is
excited.
one of the coolest chapters
Yes.
ever. All right, but let's get into it. So they're at the Queen's Blessing. Master Gil, fat innkeeper that he is like, yeah, I don't assume you can pay, but okay, and gives him kind of lets him hang out for a little bit, right? Gives him some food. Matt is gloomy as usual. He's like, well, what? Now we're going to Tarvalon. I thought we were just trying to get to Camelin. This is shitty. So yeah, and we talked about this dichotomy between Rand trying to be Mr. Optimistic, glass half full, and Matt being like, I don't even see water in this cup.
I don't see a cup.
Right.
I don't see anything. Yeah,
There's no cup.
exactly.
There's no cup. There's no table the cup's on. This sucks. No.
So they
Chastity says Matt needs to turn that frown upside down. Indeed. And I want to remind everyone the running theory with Todd is that this is connected to the dagger.
Oh, right.
All right.
And don't forget to give a thumbs up to the video.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at this.
yeah.
How professional. Thank you. Thank you.
in fact, let me
Be
smash.
sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
100%.
Good. That was great timing, Dan.
I know what I know, right? Well done, right? So Matt's gloomy. They get shown a room. Rand hangs his things up. Matt just lays down. He's like, "You're not just gonna sit here hiding." He's like, "What? I'm tired, man. Just leave me be." Rand goes downstairs and is told that there's a library in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, we should mention that this innkeeper has an equally stout woman who is the cook, who
She's
seems
always looking for him.
right.
Yep.
It's like Master Gil's like Schneider in where he's always like, hey, Miss, I am here to fix the plumbing. Hey, it seems like there's always something for him to do. What was that?
And problematic comments about, oh man, I should have married the woman if she's going to be following me around. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
But I do appreciate the equal opportunity stoutness. That just means that she's a good cook, and this is a very prosperous establishment. It's equal opportunity stoutness.
Indeed.
Equal opportunity stoutness. Yes. All right. Hashtag.
All right.
The Queen's blessing.
Hashtag no thin keeper. Hashtag equal opportunity.
No,
stoutness.
thank you, sir. Yeah.
There is all right, so he finds out that there is okay, so I guess there is a problem with rats here as well. We hear that there's he hopes that it's just the plumbing or something, but there's it seems like there's always these rat problems now.
I would start getting a complex if I were them.
Right, gross.
Like
right?
if I had like flies just follow me around all day, I would start realizing that I need to take a shower, right?
right.
I mean, come on, connect the dots is what I'm saying. Come on, boys, connect the dots.
So, Todd, what did you think about this with the sudden influx of rats in Cayman?
Man. Yeah, this just brought me back to what Rand was thinking, I guess, too. He was like, oh my gosh. He thinks to himself, about the Dark One having control over carrion eaters and rodents. And I was thinking the same, too. Like, I think I thought it before Rand.
All right, that's good. Good thinking.
And I was like, oh my gosh, the rats are here. And the Dark Lord's going to be everywhere. He's going to have eyes everywhere. So it's stakes are high, man.
Right.
And
are you happy that Basil Gill has some good cats?
Right. That's a good thing. That will help. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and Master Alvira also had a cat named Scratch, I think. A yellow cat that hung out in the common room. So that was probably a good ratter, as they referred to it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we've ever made the connection that Scratch must be having lived on like a daily dose of that good Two River tobacco that he just had available to all the patrons in the inn. We never thought about this, but Scratch is high on fuck.
Two River tobacco. Catnip. Tobacco cat.
Oh my god.
So Rand enters the library and he is flabbergasted by the number of books. Man, and he does what we all would do. They find like the books that they know first. He's like, oh, I know that one. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Tam really wanted to read this one about the sea folk. And he picks up the books. I mean, but he just walks in and it's more books than he's ever seen.
In one place.
Yeah.
And this is just in one inn. This isn't even like a library or a museum or anything. It's just like one place.
Right.
And so he's checking things out. He's like, oh, Jane Farstrider, the thing. He hears a that's how I
get
think
low. Get low. Let's let me. I think Todd should give it a
he
try.
turns around and he's
Todd, we gotta be our own here.
Excuse me.
And so he meets Loial. What was that name again?
Loyal.
with cheese.
Yes.
Loyal.
Rand sees someone who is almost 10 feet tall, has a nose as big as Rand's face, more or less. These eyebrows that kind of droop down, these ears that have these tufts that go down, this big teeth that are as wide as a chisel each. And Rand is like, Trolloc, oh shit, Trolloc.
Right.
And yeah. So what do you?
Voice.
So we meet Loyal. What are your thoughts about this whole entering the library scene?
Oh man, I was so excited. I was just blown away. I was just like, yes, I love moments like this in, fantasy books or sci-fi where like you just see, you're face to face. The character comes face to face with this like fable and something he's never seen before. And I was just really totally blown away. It was a perfect moment. I had no idea. I was like, what? Who is it? Like, I thought it was going to be like Moraine or I don't know, but it was like, oh, here. It's like, oh yeah, oh, it's you. That's right.
So we hear his name Jordan. As he introduced himself is Loyal, son of Arent. How would you? Are we gonna ask everything? Do I ask everything? All right, son of Arent.
Arent. Son.
Yeah. Son of Halan. Halan.
Halan.
How do you
So
say
Loyal, son of Arent, son of Halan.
Hold on.
Sounds good to me.
That's how he introduces himself, and he says, "Rand al'Thor, your name sings in my ears." Fucking
Love
cool.
that. So cool.
God, that's cool.
It's like the coolest thing to say to somebody when you meet them.
God damn! I wish we could get away with that. Zuul, your name sings in my ears, and not be like ironic or wheel of timey. Just be real, like actually really do it.
Totally.
God damn, that's
if someone
great.
said that to me, I would think that's a little creepy, but you know. But
Like,
I
okay.
really appreciate that Rand, who freaks out and falls on his ass,
Right.
right, recovers and gets up and regains his manners. Tam taught him well, and he extends his hand to Loyal and introduced himself.
Right. And he says this sounded like
Very
an
cool.
official ritual greeting. So he returned the bow. Your name sings in my ears, Loyal, son of Aaron, son of Helen. And he gives him his hand and is relieved to get it back.
All right. Oh yeah.
So this is a non-human. He refused.
Yeah.
He refers to you humans. We have seen creatures that we would call non-human, as far as like Trollocs and Merodral.
Right.
And Ogier, we've learned, refers to humans differently than themselves.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cheers, Robert Jordan.
All right, props to the chat right now. Chancity, your name sings in my ears, and frankly, I don't appreciate it. Brother Buddha responds with, noise pollution is real.
Chancity, that might be tinnitus. It just so happens my real name is.
I know, I have tinnitus, so it's not hard for me to think about how that sounds.
So we learned a little bit about Loyal, and we actually learned that he's an Ogier because he eventually says that he left a steading, and Rand's like, oh, you're an Ogier. I know that. But we don't necessarily know that, right off the bat what he is. We learned that humans to him are a bit hasty. We learned that he left before he's considered kind of young to be outside of the steading.
And he's
at
90 years old.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I like what he says about the stump. This whole thing about the stump.
Okay, go on.
He's like, in only 10 more years, I'll be able to address the stump. And that's like pretty major, I guess, for 2 years. And I guess the meetings are like a year long with the stump or something like that. Did I read that correctly? I don't know.
Yes, something. Yeah. It could. I mean, potentially, right? Or
So is that
intrigued.
sex? I'm just
what?
How dare you?
address the stump.
A year long?
May take a year. That's great. I'm sorry.
Hey
go on.
man, Ogiers.
Right.
Ogiers,
So he left because he kind of wants to see things. He's like, I studied everything I could about traveling, about the ways, he says, with the capital W. Did you react to that word at all, where he says the ways?
I was giddy when I heard that part.
Okay.
I love everything about the ways. I can't wait to like find out what the details are about the ways. It's a very science fiction kind of trope, I think, and I love it. This is like Robert Jordan kind of bringing science fiction into fantasy, and I can't wait to find out what the ways are about.
So what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah.
I think so. The ways to me are like wormholes.
Okay.
And they're able to like travel, long distances in short amount of time. And it's like a classic trope of sci-fi, and I love them. They're so awesome. But so
I mean,
sorry.
Loyal says, I think if you're from Manetheren or the Two Rivers, then you're roughly as far from home as I am. So it must be pretty far because Rand has taken a whole month to get here, walking and riding. And so he's like, well, if we'd been able to travel ways, but we can't because we don't do that anymore. So I love that little tease that Robert Jordan gives us.
Oh, yeah. He's just doling it out. He's like, masterfully.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about him.
Right, and actually, doesn't he mention Manetheren, and Loyal perks up and goes, "Oh, there's a beautiful grove there, or there once was, apparently." Or along those lines. He is familiar. He's not familiar with the term Two Rivers, but he's familiar with the ancient term that they had just learned, Manetheren.
And something about how he's sad.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't show up in time. I guess he knows about it and the history of it. And I guess he says some really cool stuff. Wait,
Yes, he does. He starts backing the truck up.
but it takes a long time. It goes
beep, info dump.
Yeah, he says some cool stuff about.
Are you doing a slow truck, Dan?
Yeah, because he takes his time.
He says your pain. Okay, your pain sings in my heart.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And I was just like, I love this Ogier.
So he is familiar with the story of
so cool.
Manetheren as well, it seems. Right?
No,
Because why would that pain sing in his heart unless he was familiar with what once was, as Moraine had said?
So he thinks that Rand is going to be very sad about what happened at Manetheren, but Rand just heard about it. So what does this say to you about the memory of Ogiers as opposed to the memory of the people of the Two Rivers?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, so it just goes way past the humans' recollection. They feel like, I guess, all of history, I guess, which is so awesome. Oh my gosh!
Right. I mean, if you think about the fact that Loyal is 90 years old, and in 10 years he would be able to address the stump and maybe be able to leave on his own.
Right.
What does that say about the length of the lives of Ogier? It's only been 6 generations since the year of the 100 Wars for the Ogier.
Yeah, it tells me that their lifespan's immense. It's probably thousands of years, which is like so cool.
1,000. So being 90, then he's a little baby Ogier.
Which, yeah, I think even Rand kind of realizes that, right? He's like, wow, we're probably like kind of similar. Just these two babes in the woods, just trying to figure it all out.
Well, we learned that there's another similarity in that the Ogier also adhere to the belief in the pattern and the web.
Yes.
So at least this mantra that Rand kind of has, as far as like the wheel weaves and all this stuff, it does go beyond just being human. Ogier believe in the pattern as well, and Rand was even like, I didn't know that. He's like, oh yeah, and I didn't really want to talk about it because your webs are teeny little patterns because your life sucks. Our webs are huge. But
Totally.
I'm sorry, Rand. I shouldn't have said that.
He's being very courteous. He's like,
Something like that. Yeah. So we hear that this belief in the pattern is not only a human thing, which I think is kind of notable.
Very
All right.
very cool. Like,
Let's give some props to the chat real quick.
Please.
Chancey says, your name sings in my ears, your pain sings in my heart, your travel sings in my nose.
Yeah.
All right.
No, they haven't like.
We got another
changed
comment. I bet Loyal likes karaoke.
Oh man, I bet you he kills it. He's like,
Yes.
He might need some special equipment to get the sub bass.
Can't get it.
Oh yeah.
He's been saying a lot about singing.
I don't know, and
All
I
right.
don't know why.
How about Loyal singing Nine Inch Nails Hurt?
Ooh, that'll be it.
Good stuff.
That'll be right there.
Your pain sings in my heart.
Has anybody heard of Tuvan throat singing? I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a low Tuvan throat singing undertone to everything he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like even lower than that, probably. It's like
Okay, we have to hear you sing it that way, Todd. Like that.
I know. Yeah,
That's super low.
all right, sing My Way. All right, sing My Way in Loyal's voice.
oh, the song I did it my way.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra, go.
Do you want my hat? I have a Sinatra hat here.
I'm just kind of Tom Waitsy, I guess.
That was great.
Very good.
But every time Loyal talks, I try to talk like him.
What has he done? If not himself, that he has not. I'm gonna hurt myself if I keep this up. Fuck.
Dude,
I don't know how you do it, Todd. Todd's real voice is not like this. He does this for 2 hours and then he goes home and he's just like, "Hey guys, I don't know how you keep it up."
What's for dinner?
No.
Oh man, was I not supposed to tell everybody that?
Can you make lasagna?
That was not the part of the deal, man.
Oh, that hurt.
All right, so we hear some of the conditions as far as like steadings. I guess this might be a thing for Ogier to like jump from steading to steading, kind of visit steadings. But it seems that historically they were more vibrant and robust, and some of the cities now don't necessarily take care of their steadings as well.
So the groves. Oh, so the groves are the steadings. Is that what?
Nope.
Right. Well,
No. They're
yeah.
two different things, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do we have the groves? Why is Loyal looking to go see the groves?
Right. He wants to see all the groves he's read about. And I guess these groves are very sacred. They're these ginormous trees that have like grown for like thousands of years, I take it. And they're beautiful and I guess he's finding that these groves have been built over by the city, which is really saddening for him.
Yep.
And he gets into something really cool, actually, which I want to bring up about the land. This stuff was so cool. About you must shape the vision to the land, not the land to the vision. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that line. That's bitchin'.
So
Yeah, like I was
That's
blown
when-
away by that.
that's
Hey,
when.
peace, man. Far out. Groovy. I'm a hippie.
So that's when the Ogier, after the breaking, were helping the humans build
Right.
cities, right? And so they had a way of building cities. To their philosophy worked better with working with the land and shaping the trees and the buildings around the land. And
Awesome.
while they were building those, they also built groves to help them remind themselves of the steading. So there was
that's right.
always a big city next and a steading near it so that they could go and experience like the peace of the trees to remind them of the scent of things. So Loyal wants to go
Keep
see
the
those
memories
groves.
fresh.
Right, exactly. He wants to go see those groves that he's heard about. And he's very sad that some have been built over and some have been cut down. And so that's what he's telling Rand about.
Right. Love it.
Some of the city names are still some of the old city names that he knows. And we hear that he refers to these trees as the great trees in capital G, capital T, great trees. So I'm picturing like a sequoia or some like just huge, great, or maybe a banyan tree or one of those trees that that just take up an entire grove by one tree. I don't know. I'm picturing something magnificent though.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think the sequoia is a good reference for us personally. Something so huge and majestic and tall and big around that it just overwhelms you.
Right. And actually, so Zuul, I actually camped under an enormous redwood one time. And I remember the wind moving it, and the sound this tree made was the craziest sound I had heard. It was like this. I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to try.
Oh,
it goes.
Here we go.
Ooh. This was the tree moving from like the wind, like 200 feet up. It was fucking spooky and awesome and great. And I was just like leaning and just hearing this tree just kind of do that sound. I'll do it one more time.
I remember this story.
Yeah, it was. I'd never heard a tree do anything like that.
And that's the first time you woke up with morning redwood, right?
It was enormous. And it turns out that it was protected by the state of California.
I'll be here all...
Thank you.
My job here is done.
Sequoia.
Sequoia.
Rand becomes like the super support guy. Loyal's like, yeah, maybe I should just give up. All these groves are cut down. I went to Terra, I went to Ilion, I went to Camelin. They just built the fucking city. There's no trees here anymore. I'm just gonna give up. And Rand's like, no, buddy. If you give up, you'll just die. I mean, it's a little dramatic for someone who just met him, but I like his earnest nature and trying to be a positive force of like, come on, man, you're all good.
Totally.
And Loyal's like, oh yeah, that's typical human. that's adorable. Tap, tap, tap.
Well, actually, this is where you like. Oh no, I'm sorry. Keep going. I jumped.
So Rand actually mentions those great trees that I referenced, the capital G, capital T trees, and says, "Is that like Editore?" Loyal or Rand says, and Loyal's like, so talk to me about how Loyal responds to this.
This is really interesting.
It says Loyal sat up sharply. His chair squealed and cracked so loudly, Rand thought it was going to come apart. You know better than that. You of all people.
Yeah, he kind of like perturbed old Loyal there. And I guess he accuses him kind of being an Isleman. And which is very interesting. I was like, wait, what? And made me think about the Isleman. I'll say Isleman, but and how they're, I don't know. It's very interesting. I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry, but
that's right. So yeah, he was like, so okay, yeah, you Isleman. Think the weirdest things are so funny, and Rand's like, well, I'm not Isleman, I'm from the Two Rivers, and that's where we get into the Manetheren talk that we were talking about earlier.
That's right. Yeah.
But he's like, huh? And Loyal is just like, whew, shit, man, things are changing. Everything I read in the books are just wrong. It's crazy. You're not that. You're from the okay. I guess this is how it is. everything I read has just been kind of a waste, though. Well, I don't know if he says that.
And he kind of, the thing about the Aielman, he's like, you guys have a really interesting way of saying things. I guess it pisses him off, Loyal. I guess I'm trying to figure out how he's upset that Rand compared the great trees to the Aventissora tree of life. I guess there's like something there that he was upset about. I don't know.
Well, why does he think that Rand is going to know where Aventissora is?
Ah, right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, he says to him first, till shade is gone, till water is gone, into the shadow with teeth bared, screaming defiance with the last breath, to spit in Sightblinder's eye on the last day. And then he cocks his shaggy his shaggy head expectantly, and Rand has no idea what he's expecting. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, he sits still for like a minute.
He's like,
can you imagine just sitting there and Loyal just looking at you?
A full minute, yes.
And you're just like,
it's like, what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah.
The great trees, yeah, they're Aventissora.
Yeah, you start itching your pits, like, and they didn't have cell phones. You can't just start looking at your phone.
Right, right. It said the silence grew uncomfortable for Rand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
heavy.
So let me see where we're at. There is mention of the Logain, the Dark Dragon, and he's like, "Is that why you're here?" More or less. And Rand just spills the beans about their whole travel.
Oh, yeah.
He has diarrhea of the mouth. It says part of him was horrified at what he was doing, but it was almost as if he were two people, one trying to hold his tongue while the other one felt the relief of being able to tell it all finally. Which is, I love that. That's a very good description. So Rand just barfs out his whole story.
Yep.
So why do you think he felt comfortable doing that to a 10-foot monster?
I know, yeah. Why a monster? Yeah, why talk to the monster with the huge hands and Leonard Cohen voice?
It was the deep voice.
Be your will.
That's what deep voices do. That Yeah.
They're very soothing. I'll have to tell you, they are. They just are.
I think Rand is soothed, and he's like, okay, this guy's all right, or this thing is all right.
Oh, here's a good question. Marty Beck says, would he have done that if Matt wasn't being a tool?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, tell all from Rand the whistleblower. Yeah, I mean, it's very fascinating that he trusts and just starts spilling the beans. It seems like...
he became Rambo Althor?
I mean, if Loyal had malicious... you ramble out, yes!
Thank you, Zuul.
Yes!
Sorry, Ryan. Go on.
No
I didn't want to
apologies.
forget that one.
Dude, that's so good.
Sorry.
No, I mean, just if Loyal had like malicious intent, he could just be a mastermind and like getting people to just calm down and like spill the beans. Maybe he has. Yeah, I'm just speculating wildly, but it is a huge risk. It seems.
Right.
Regardless.
Let's say that you are non-human. Maybe you just have like some juice that oozes that just like tell me everything. Blah. I mean, who knows?
Juice? A juice?
Well,
what?
Yeah.
Who oozes juice?
This is interesting.
Goo. Sorry, Zuul. This is okay. No, go on.
Hold on. You've never oozed like juice?
I've like passed out maybe and dribbled like a Mai Tai juice out of my mouth, but that's back in the 80s.
Mike Taichi.
I was. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bad choice of words. Go ahead.
So this is very interesting because Rand, when he was talking to Basil Gill, said his story roughly, but he left out all of the Myrddraal, all of the Trollocs, like all of that sort of supernatural stuff. But when he meets Loyal, he says everything.
Mm-hmm.
He just like lets it all out. And so what is it about Loyal that makes him trust him completely?
Just
What do
being
you think?
that, yeah, he's this magical, otherworldly creature that he's read about. So he's like, oh, he'll get it. He'll get it. He'll be on my side.
You know, my name sings in his ears.
I think he just, he has like, right.
He's
charming. They have like a magic bro moment. It's like,
yeah.
Magic bro moment. So what are we thinking the time difference is between when they talked to Master Gill and gave the abbreviated footnote story, and then him talking to Loyal? This is what, like an hour, or I mean, it's not very long, right? I mean, Matt went to bed. He's like, all right, fine, I'm going downstairs, and went to the library.
Totally. Yeah, this is a short period of time.
Yeah. So yeah, Rand really wants to get things off his chest with Loyal, and it's and Loyal responds in a very weird way. He says the word. What was it again, Todd? TA'Averen.
TAVERN.
Very good, TAVERN.
There you go.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Loyal just instantly just says some weird word. And we hear that this term has a meaning that more or less all right, so here's he talks about changes in the pattern, how little changes aren't a big deal. You can, if you just can't go be a king. Rand kind of laughs. Right. Yeah, imagine being, you can't do that. But TAVERN apparently, the world or the pattern kind of changes around them in a certain way or something, So let's talk about that.
Very much so, yes. I think it's amazing.
What did you gather from this? From what he describes that TAVERN is.
There's so much happening right here. I think it brings me back to like what Min was saying back in Baralone. Kind of Min is like the seer, and she sees like all this stuff, and Loyal actually says that. He's like, as you're explaining this, I see this the bending of the pattern, I think, as you're talking. And that just blew me away. I was just like, oh my God. So that like affirms that, like what Min was seeing, I guess, and now what Loyal's seeing.
Oh, you brought it back to Min. Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And
I like that.
I just love this. It's like the metaphysics of the wheel just laid down, really. And just with how he is, I guess he gets into comparing, other bendings of the wheel or wheel bends with like Archer Hawking and Lewis there. And he's like, Rand, you're like one of these, or might be one of these. I'm seeing these like bends, and like you're really making, waves, Broseph. Like,
yeah. Hey, boy. What are you doing pulling patterns?
Pulling patterns.
Dude,
pulling patterns for Michelle.
Pulling
patterns for Michelle.
So Loyal says, I think you're TAVERN, and maybe your friends are as well. What do you think? Do you think that Rand is? Do you think that Matt and Perrin are also major threads in the pattern that will pull other threads?
Good question. Good question.
Oh, gee. Perfect.
Excellent
Thank
question.
you, Eddie. Thank you, Eddie.
There is no Dana. There is only Zuul.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
For everyone who stayed to the end.
Are you going to call? There is no Zuul.
Thank you.
You're gonna call Bill.
There
Murray,
is no
yeah.
Dana, only Zuul. That's right.
Awesome.
All right, so Loyal was like, all right, Rand, you know what? I want to travel with you. Rand's like, we're trying to hide. There's you're 10 feet tall. People scream. You can't even leave the library. He's like, I don't think it's going to be a good idea. We should probably move on, but what do you think of that offer? What do you think of all that? And where he's like, all right, maybe I'll just see you in Tarvalon and we'll party there.
At first, when Loyal was like, I want to go with you, I was like, yes. I thought there was just going to be this awesome fellowship. It reminded me of like, Lord of the Rings and stuff. And just how there could be all these different, beings in this party. I was like really stoked. And then Rand shot it down. I was totally bummed. But I think that's awesome. He's like, yeah, you're going to show me, like, if we get to Tarvalon, man, let's go to one of those groves. Because I guess there's a nice grove there.
Loyal gets like pathetic emo. He's like, will you at least talk to me, Rand?
I know.
And Rand's like, buddy, I'll be your friend. We're good, but you just can't travel with me. And then that pretty much ends. It says him thinking that his friends, in fact, Loyal kind of reads the room and goes, I'm sure your friends are fine. He's like, they gotta be all right. They gotta be, kind of thing. And then it ends there.
Awesome.
Brother Dan,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just a little, let's let everyone watch the sausage be made. What do you think about just saving the next chapter for the next episode?
You want is that time wise what we should do? This is a small chapter, but it is packed with a little bit of stuff. I'm game for either way.
It's up to Todd. Todd, can we go on? Finish the next chapter or end it? It's up to you, buddy.
Dude, what do you think? Yeah, we can do it, man. Let's do it.
All right.
It's up to you. All right.
Let's move on. We'll do this. All right. This one is chapter 37, The Long Chase.
Which is seven
pages. A very
pages.
short chapter.
Yes.
It has the Sublime Sun tattoo as its emblem. This is in the point of view of Nynaeve. Nynaeve is holding the horses while Moiraine and Lan are off like scouting. She's thinking about a couple things. And then to make it fast, Lan pops up and says, hey, we need you. Hobbles the horses, takes her hand, walks her through the darkness. She could not follow in the darkness. It was too dark, but he was able to do it. And they finally go up to a little hill where Moiraine is waiting. They get down on a knee and they peek over, and there's a white cloak camp. Is there anything you want to talk about, like Nynaeve, her musings before we see the camp?
Yeah, we got to go back to the flashback.
Okay.
Kind of like a
go ahead.
flashback, because like she's like in the dark, and then she thinks back to this to their travels and going through all these villages after Whitebridge, and she's like totally blown away by the it's unreal in their normality, unconnected to Fades and Trollocs. She's like blown away that that she's going through these towns, and but then there's these awesome moments where they're just camping and like having tea, and like Moiraine is like meditating and listening to the wind. What I said I do, I guess, and she has this moment where, oh my gosh, the coin is gone.
Right. Thank you for bringing that up.
And I was just like, yes, oh my gosh. And as of the reader, I know this is Perrin, but of course they don't know that. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's gone out of his possession, but if I get close enough, I can figure out where he is.
Yep.
And that's pretty major.
But then she goes, he got it back. Oh, shucks. So,
right.
so we did see that scene, and he said, "All right, give them back their stuff." Did you think that he was going to get back that witch's gold coin?
I didn't. I didn't even remember that he got his stuff back.
Okay. Do you now that I mentioned it, though?
What I thought was happening right there was that, like, that Perrin, like, escaped or something and got like all of his stuff back.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
That's what I thought.
Go on.
And I was like, oh my gosh, because they don't know what's happening. And we didn't know. I thought it was like some outside of the stories that we've read that she was just picking up on that. But we'll see. I don't know. I guess they were giving back the coins. I guess I can't remember. I didn't remember that part.
Man, I gotta get better at this shit. God
yeah,
damn it.
it's in the scene. Yeah, it's in the scene where Perrin wakes up after being conked on the head, and he meets Lord Captain Commander
Right.
Bornhold, and he sees Bayar,
fucking asshole and cock master.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the part. I don't remember the part where they give back the coin though.
Yeah, he's given his stuff back. He's not giving back the axe, but he's giving back all of his other stuff.
Right,
Gotcha.
and he said, "You can't do this." And he's like, "Well, no. What are we gonna do? Just kill him here? No, we got to take him to Amador." And so he said, "You did say give him back their stuff, but I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't necessarily think that included their money."
Well, he definitely points out. Bornhold definitely points out. Well, that he's condemned by the fact that he has a Tarvalon mark.
Right.
In his pot, and he gives it back to him, and that's when Moiraine says, "Oh, he has it back."
So
right.
Cool.
So this kind of matches up the timelines for us.
Right. I was super giddy about that.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Robert Jordan.
I got a
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Before we proceed, I got a side note question. This is actually a great question, and you can pop it in at any time. All right. Name that TAVERN. All right. I'm going to read them out, and you tell me if you think any of these are TAVERN. Bella. Yes or no?
Bella. Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Right. Yes or no? All right.
Very good.
I'm taking notes.
Edwin.
Yes.
Niniave.
Yes.
Moiraine.
I don't know what to think about Aes Sedai and Pattern and TAVERN's.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Lan.
No.
Matt.
Yes.
Perrin.
Yes.
Rand.
Hell yeah.
Zuul.
Oh. Yes.
You're just saying that because I'm here.
No, Loyal though. That's a good one. How about Loyal? Is Loyal TAVERN?
I think yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And is there anybody not on the list that you think could be TAVERN? How about Tam Althor?
Ooh. Tam Althor? Yeah.
Tam Althor.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he makes us do that. Tam Althor.
It's Tam Althor.
That's a beautiful question, Brother Buddha. Always adding to the show.
All right,
Thank
so let me
you.
one further quick question then. What percentage of people do you think has this TAVERN nature? Like in normal, like you go to Camelin, how many people are TAVERN?
Not many. Seems like it's got to be big. It's got to be like Archer Hawking or Luz Theron kind of big.
Right on. Okay.
Because I guess the wheel, if it's like a little, change, it'll like allow it, right? And if it's a big change, that's when the big change happens.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Was that Reed?
Sen Billy is TAVERN.
TAVERN.
Hey, first off, kind of F you. We love Sen Billy, but also thank you. That's amazing.
Probably right.
This is why I wanted to have that debate.
I mean, everyone hates, the truth teller. Anyways. I watch a lot of Glenn Beck.
Oh, very funny. Very
Just
funny.
kidding. Go on.
So Nynaeve crawls up to a hill. She sees a well-organized camp outside of 200 armed white cloaks. And Lan's like, yeah, Moraine says he's in the middle. I went up and like pretty much was right outside his tent. Yeah, it's gonna be dodgy. Yeah. She's like, oh shit, you're pretty good. We hear that she is included in their plan. They're like, all right, Nynaeve, if you're as good as I think you are, then this should be no shit. This should be no lickety split. You should be able to do this because you snuck up on me. There's no way those fools over there are going to be able to get you. So just go and make it so that when the distraction happens, these horses are able to break free of their lines.
Good plan.
And she's told, and be careful. There's apparently a couple wolves around, and
this is a very.
And
cool
it seemed
moment.
like they kind of wanted me to see them. So if there's just two, there's probably more. And you should probably be careful of wolves. And she's like, "Oh, duh, thanks, dummy. Oh, thanks for telling the shepherd to beware of wolves, you numbskull." I think she gave him a bop on the shoulder. Oh, it says, I wouldn't have known that, she said sweetly. I only grew up around shepherds. He grunted and she smiled into the darkness.
Dude,
that's what we all should do, is just smile into the darkness, right?
Smile into the darkness. I love it.
When the abyss stares at you, smile into the darkness.
It's a lot like what we're doing right now. Looking into these cameras.
Yeah.
Into the darkness.
So we hear that Lan has a ferocious grip. He has very strong hands. Hubba hubba. But when Nynaeve is about to split, All right, so when Nynaeve is about to split, Moraine grabs her equally as firmly and says, take care, child. You are as important as anyone here, and I would not risk you if I didn't need you. Totally. What do you think about Nynaeve? Like, so she is scared as shit. She's doing this. She might be able to stalk, a warden or an Aes Sedai and feel good about it, but they're not armed. They're not 200 men with spears.
Yeah.
She just eases her knife out and goes on down.
Yeah.
What?
Boom.
Goes on down. Yeah, eases her knife and goes on down the hill to free the horses. What are you fucking talking about, Ryan?
Stop it, Ryan.
Jeez, I'm sorry, Zuul. I mean, gosh. So she creeps like a rabbit, and we see the two rivers. If nothing else, they learn how to be quiet in the woods, I guess. You're hunting, you're pulling badgers out of dens, you're powdering dogs in the woods, you're using slings to hit birds staring at you. Yeah, you're country strong. You're part of these woods, and them. So she creeps down, almost hits like the total like trope wise of soldiers marching up to each other. I think they say the night is clear, the illuminate us all, or some shit like that, and the other person says the same thing. Oh wait, it says all is well with the night. One white cloak shape announced, the light illuminate us and protect us from the shadow. All is well with the night, the other replied, the light illuminate us and protect us from the shadow. With that, they turned and marched off into the darkness again.
Yeah,
weird. But right past them, when they march off, are the horses.
Yep.
Nynaeve is able to creep up and start sawing away at the hemp rope until there's only a few strands left. One horse seemed a little dodgy and may whinny at any point, but does not. She goes along. Most of the other horses are asleep. She goes 1, 2, 3. She sees there's this other rack over there. She's like, "Fuck, there's horses over there. All right, I'll go over there." She goes over there. Boom. She runs into Shaggy Stout mare. She's the fat innkeeper of the horses. We run into Bella.
Bella.
Right. It was the last picket line, and she did it because she was like, her job was mostly done, and she's like, you know what? No, I'm going in. I'm gonna do the last thing. I'm gonna finish this job. Runs into Bella. Is like, woohoo!
I was so amped when that happened.
Okay,
oh my God.
So when she was headed into this danger, was she thinking about what's going up ahead, or was she thinking about her competition with this warder?
Total competition.
Yes. When she was headed in, she was like, I could be done right now, or I could go to the last picket line. What does she think about?
Right. What would Lan do?
What would Lan do? What would Lan think?
Yeah. He's like,
Land War in Asia.
She's like, I don't want to see his disappointing glare at me that I left one line of horses tied. I was like,
This is not what I was thinking about.
Yeah, this warder. It's like warder versus wisdom.
Yes,
That's what I call it. I love it.
Yes.
It's very cool.
It's awesome. So Bella does receive her hand like graciously. Yeah, and it's great. And then
Bella.
How do I say delicately, like shit goes down. Shit goes down right then. Lightning completely starts blowing things up. It says abruptly lightning shattered the night overhead, for a moment obliterating darkness. Thunder smote her ears so hard she thought her knees would buckle, as a jagged trident stabbed the ground just beyond the horses, splashing dirt and rocks like a fountain. Fuck.
Huge.
That's some Odin shit right there. That's
heavy.
Totally.
All right.
And
well, here's the big question: did Moiraine or Nynaeve do the first crack of lightning?
Excellent question.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, or like right before it, it's really interesting because Nynaeve says like, after she gets Bella, I think she's like, "Oh man, if Moraine's gonna do something, it's got to be like right now." And then it happens. So like, I don't know. Like, I didn't think. I think it's Moiraine, but now I'm like thinking, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nynaeve, I guess, has like some of the one power, but I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy.
That's a good question, and we don't know anything as of right now. We just know that shit happens. Lightning hits right past the horses. The horses all flip out. Nynaeve jumps on Bella.
Oh man, it's weird how I yell that every time I play the video. It's me yelling.
Yes.
It's amazing, Ryan.
Thank you.
So she jumps on Bella's back. A couple wolves, gray shapes, dart past and start nipping at the horses. She's like, Jesus Christ, wolves! What's Moiraine doing? And just digs her heels in and just rides off on Bella. And that's pretty much how the chapter ends. It says, the heels she dug into Bella's sides were not needed. The mare ran, and the others were more than happy to follow. Anywhere, so long as they could run, so long as they could escape the fire from the sky that killed the night. Fuck. Well done, RJ, man. That's a good
RJ.
phrase.
Yes.
Lightning that killed the night.
That's like a death metal song. Lightning that killed the night.
So, what are your thoughts about this whole escape plan? It seems that's going on.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, just so much is happening, and Bella's back, and
Okay.
yeah.
So for Nynaeve, when she sees Bella, what does that mean to her?
That that she's getting closer to the Emmon Fielders.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we've been following the coin, and that meant Heron.
Right.
And
She figures
Moraine-
that it means that Gwen's there, right?
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Right, because she has been given Moiraine heck because she's been so focused on the boys, Rand, Matt, and Perrin. She's like, what about Egwene? You said she had such, potential.
Right.
What about her? And so for her, I can just imagine the joy of knowing that
She's like, yes.
if Bella's here, if Bella's here, that means Egwene is here. And
Totally.
she's like, my girl.
My girl, my sister,
Yes.
So good.
We got
So-
them.
and sister.
So we have
love
3
it.
chapters coming up next week. Let me get your predictions real fast if I can, Todd, and then we'll wrap things up. Chapter 38 is called Rescue. Well, any predictions?
Well, I think there's going to be a rescue.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay. That's a long stretch, but,
Okay.
maybe.
Well, there's a dragon's fang. Okay, wait. Is that a dragon fang and sons that are on it?
It does, it does have a dragon fang
That's
that
not a
has like
dragon
a
fang.
sunshine or like a
No.
Oh, is that something different?
No.
teardrop.
That's something different from the dragon's fane.
Oh, cool. All right.
Okay. So let's call it the
I have no idea. You
the
rescue
whale
Rand
teardrop.
and Matt get in trouble.
All right, rescue. So Weavings of the Web is chapter 39. That's with again
Can't wait for that.
lion. And then chapter 40, the Web Titans again with that whale drop and the sun in the corner. Any predictions on that? The Web Titans.
The Web Titans, yeah. I guess the amount of people it affects is like closing in. I don't know. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. These chapter titles are very intriguing.
Give me something. Give me something. Chapter 40, the Web Titans. What does that mean? Give me something.
Well, I mean the web is the effect someone has, right? It's like a range.
Like-
the web.
The pattern has
Right.
like it's weaving together, and so the web that like the TAVERN are like pulling together.
Creates.
Yeah.
It creates it, right? And so it's like a ripple effect through the pattern.
Mhm.
So what do you
it's
think is going to
something-
happen in chapter 40?
There's a tightening of it. No.
All right.
I don't know.
Who do you think is
Okay.
going to be in that chapter?
Good question.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the way.
who?
to put it, yes.
Who? Like what characters do you think is going to be in that chapter where the web is tightening?
Oh, maybe they all come back together. I don't know.
Okay, I can buy that.
works. Okay, that's something.
Maybe they meet in Camelin or
All right.
or Aleda comes into it. You know, I can't wait for like 2 Aes Sedai to be in the same room together. That's gonna be cool.
That would make my Web Titan.
Oh, gee.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dear Lord,
So, I'm
this
sorry.
is a family show,
Is it?
Brother Dan.
Is it?
But is it now?
Is it?
That
No,
we
it's not.
we jumped
Well-
that shark a long time ago.
Well, no, Todd, you are right in that everyone that joins this show is family. And Zuul, you are our new sister. Thank you so much for joining us. It really is an honor. that that you have
awesome.
been a part of this. You are one of the nicest, most gracious people that we have, and I see you all throughout different videos, different. You're just constant. You're just a constant den mom for everyone to feel good about themselves, and I love you, and I'm so glad that you were here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now here's my story. When I first started Discord, someone said you need to talk to Zuul, and within an hour I was in a voice chat with Zuul for roughly 3 hours as I walked my dogs and then just found other things to do because I wanted to keep talking and learning from her. And she's been just a gem to know and get to know ever since that day. So, guys, let us know. I mean, pressure Zuul to come back on the show. I think we're going to have an open door policy.
Yes, at least monthly, if not every other week. Gosh, this is fun.
This is clearly the best episode we've ever done. We're lost without you. You were reining us in with amazing. You let us go, and then you brought us back in, just like in the real world. It's great. So, everybody,
awesome.
We are signing out. We're going to say bye to
Todd.
Let Todd get back to his real life. Out in character, out of character. I don't know what we're. Oh, anyway, so yeah, Todd.
Yeah, keep reading, you filthy animal.
All right, back to the.
No reading dogs. All right, fine. I'm gonna read too.
What? God damn you guys.